become alarmingly clear, it emerges that it wasn't only Queen Elizabeth who cottoned on to the American actress's elaborate plan. Bitter brothers at war feud began. Fueled by a growing cold fury, the acrimonious split continues to this day. And according to those close to the Prince of Wales, the chances of the seething siblings ever talking to each other again are decidedly remote. Royal author Phil Dampier said, Meghan saw marrying Harry as a stepping stone to new fame and fortune, and I think that's what initially Prince William was concerned about, and that's why they fell out. These latest revelations mirror the fears of the late Queen, who we now know doubted that Meghan was in love with her naive grandson and believed that the artful divorcee engineered the entire. Of course, denies any such scheming. I mean, perish the thought. But these shocking stories from the past are, we understand, not going down at all well behind the gilded gates of the Sussex's palace.
The Simpsons just threw the shadiest, most savage jab at Meghan Markle we've ever seen, and believe me, even South Park suddenly looks like child's play next to this. This wasn't just a roast, it was a full-on cultural hit job, and it's brutal.
Fueled by a growing cold fury, the acrimonious split continues to this day. And according to those close to the Prince of Wales, the chances of the seething siblings ever talking to each other again.
And the crazy part? It all started in the most unexpected way, with a quiet little leak. Some junior editor in an overseas post-production studio thought it'd be harmless to show a sneak peek to a friend, just a casual, private look. But that clip slipped out of a Discord server and exploded across the internet in a matter of hours.
Remote. Royal author Phil Dampier said, Meghan saw marrying Harry as a stepping stone to new fame and fortune, and I think that's what.
By the time Los Angeles even rubbed the sleep out of its eyes, that clip had gone viral. We're talking Twitter, TikTok, Reddit, it was everywhere. And the wildest part, it was just the first 60 seconds, and it was already jaw-dropping.
Prince William was concerned about, and that's why they fell out. These latest revelations mirror the fears of the late Queen.
The episode kicks off with this bougie storefront glowing under the name The Duchess Drop. All peaceful and posh on the outside, but inside, chaos. A cartoon Duchess, and let's be real, it's Meghan, is completely melting down. Why? Because a customer squeezed a jar of trauma-preserving raspberry jam too hard. Yes, you heard that right.
Who, we now know, doubted that Meghan was in love with her naive grandson and believed that the artful divorcee engineered the entire.
She screams, "These aren't condiments," while a robotic butler glides by misting rosé into the air. Meanwhile, fake headlines scroll across the screen. Damagedon rocks Monteceto, and Royal Goose sparks public outcry. It's savage, it's scathing, and fans were glued to it.
The difficult Duchess, of course, denies any such scheming. I mean, perish the thought. But these shocking stories from the past are.
Social media, it blew up. TikTokers recreated the whole meltdown with tiaras and jam jars. Meme accounts paired the footage with Meghan's actual interviews. Reddit's top joke? Hand-harvested pain, now in 12 flavors. You can't make this stuff up.
All well behind the gilded gates of the Sussex's palace in the Californian sun. Right now, however, it seems that the misgivings of Her late Majesty and William are the least of Meghan's problems.
By noon, the leak was the #1 headline, trending more than Meghan's own Netflix projects. And in Monteceto, let's just say, it was not a Zen day.
These latest revelations mirror the fears of the late Queen, who we now know doubted that Meghan was in love with her naive grandson.
But here's the real punch. This wasn't some cheap slapstick giggle. This was razor-sharp satire. Every frame sliced right through Meghan's carefully manufactured image. This was comedy with a scalpel, and it hurt.
Believed that the artful divorcee engineered the entire romance. The difficult Duchess, of course, denies any such scheming. I mean, perish the thought.
Example, one tiny label on the jam jar reads, "Ethically sealed with self-reflection." A straight-up gut punch aimed at Meghan's whole mindfulness branding shtick. The background music, a soft harp cover of London Bridge. It's subtle, but the message, unmissable.
Now, however, it seems that the misgivings of Her late Majesty and William are the least of Meghan's problems.
Even the colors were a weapon. muted earth tones, the same palette from Meghan's old lifestyle blog. Whoever created this knew everything. It was a masterclass in pop culture precision, and it left a mark.
The big cloud casting a dark shadow over the carefully curated image of Ms. Markle's oh-so-perfect life.
Fans? Euphoric. Old-school Simpsons diehards called it a return to form. Tweets racked up thousands of likes. People were saying it blended classic wit with modern savagery. And again, this was all in less than a minute.
Or to be precise, the lack thereof. Having only recently hired a royal-style court of highly paid executives, Harry and Meghan are reported to be ditching staff fast.
Meanwhile, in Monteceto, full-blown panic. Meghan's team launched into an emergency Zoom call. High-powered lawyers, PR gurus, branding consultants, all scrambling to stop the bleeding. This wasn't optional. It was DEFCON 1.
Gruesome Twosome's communications team have been let go amid talk that the tally of minions who have left.
And just when you thought the opener was done, it dropped one last bomb. Cartoon Meghan, clutching her jam jars, stares into the camera and mutters, "At least South Park didn't bring props." Cut to black, bold title, Royal Pain. 1 minute in.
Arrived in America now stands at a bumper 25. The New York Post's page 6 column.
Now, if Meghan thought this would send Disney into crisis mode, she misread the room. They didn't panic, they pounced. Insiders say the studio spun this leak into gold. They went from damage control to full-throttle marketing strategy.
Just last month, the runaway royals parted company with 6 more employees, and that's several subsequent departures.
That episode, it was supposed to be a low-key fall release, not anymore. Disney bumped it up to September, just in time for Emmy season and the anniversary of Princess Diana's death. Yeah, they knew exactly what they were doing. And guess what? Meghan's jam empire isn't exactly bringing in the dough, but this chaos, it's pure gold for Disney. One exec even said off the record, "We couldn't buy this kind of heat." Another called Meghan's legal threats a global marketing campaign. Translation, controversy equals cash, and Royal Pain is making bank. They've already got teaser art in the works. One has Lisa Simpson in a tiara clutching a jam-stained cease and desist, billboards, streaming ads, viral campaigns. All of it's coming, and not once do they name names, but we all know who they're talking about. Disney's not scared, they're thriving. Meghan's worst PR nightmare has become Disney's best publicity stunt of the year. So now Meghan's Scam Jam storefront, as extra as ever, is crumbling, and all the curated Instagram posts in the world can't save it. Behind the scenes, Meghan is reportedly furious, her team frantic. They're throwing everything at the wall, hoping something sticks. But here's the kicker. Nothing is working, because this wasn't just a roast, it was a takedown with laser accuracy. The Duchess's animated version hosts this painfully sterile cooking show, so overly polished it smells like lemon-scented disinfectant. It was a direct hit on Pearl, Meghan's pet project with Netflix that never saw the light of day. It was supposed to be her masterpiece, a blend of royal elegance and California wellness, but Netflix killed it. Word is, it was so focused on messaging, it forgot to actually be entertaining. One insider called it a TED Talk in yoga pants. Ouch! She promised Harry a dream, claimed to be a human rights activist, a successful actress, but the truth? She was a side character on a cable drama that barely made it past cult status. She didn't back down after Pearl bombed, though. Oh no, she pivoted to podcasting. Next came Confessions of a Female Founder. Raw, vulnerable, not even close. It sounded more like a LinkedIn seminar that wouldn't shut up. Guests barely got a word in because it was always about her. One producer didn't hold back. It's a mirror disguised as a microphone. And another? It's a motivational PowerPoint you can't exit out of. Harsh, but not wrong. Remember Spotify's Archetypes? $20 million down the drain. It was supposed to spark meaningful conversations. What it gave us? Scripted lectures, zero chemistry, and more buzzwords than an HR manual. Spotify pulled the plug. Meghan blamed creative differences. Translation, they wanted a show. She wanted a branding campaign. And here's the real heartbreak. She just doesn't have the strategy people think she does. She's scheming, yes, but poorly. That's why this Simpsons episode landed like a bomb, because it mirrored everything people have been saying for years, and no one could deny it anymore. It's like watching a TED Talk parody in real time. The animated Meghan preaches about authenticity, empowerment, and healing, while sipping rosé from a gold straw and marketing pain like it's artisan jam. One character even mocks her luxury jelly brand, Marmalux, organic pectin and ancestral trauma in every jar. And when Marge Simpson dares to ask if there's actual fruit in it, Meghan snaps. Fruit is a construct. You cannot make this up. And that's why it stings. Because it's barely satire, it's reality with a yellow filter. The best part? Even Harry gets dragged. Halfway through the episode, the focus shifts. Lisa Simpson, in full David Attenborough mode, narrates The Lost Prince of Monteceto. Harry stumbles barefoot through a dusty field, headphones on, clutching a photo of the late queen. He finds scraps from his memoir, cheekily titled Bear, and tries to set them on fire, but the flame fizzles out. He mutters bitterly, "They said it would spark something." It's not just comedy, it's a diagnosis, and it gets worse. He ends up tangled in podcast cables, screaming, "This is my truth," before slipping on spilled rosé and crashing into a pile of dusty merchandise. A tiny wine crate in the corner, labeled Property of Spare Parts, Inc. The internet lost it, because if Meghan's cartoon was a scalpel, Harry's was a sledgehammer. And while Meghan's legal team rushed to send Disney a cease and desist, claiming defamation, likeness abuse, brand damage, none of it stuck. The Simpsons never named her. Every brand was fictionalized. And in America, parody is basically untouchable, especially if you're a public figure. Disney didn't flinch. Their reply? Polite, professional, and firm, "We respect everyone. But we're not changing a single frame." Meghan's threat became the joke. Meme pages started photoshopping the legal letters. Viral posts joked about the Duchess of Monteceto, keeper of raspberry secrets. Even her own fans started whispering, "Is this really about privacy, or is it about control?" And honestly, the louder Meghan tried to fight back, the worse it looked. Even longtime defenders couldn't ignore the shift. Because when you cry sexism, racism, and victimhood for every joke made at your expense, but your content flops and your empire crumbles, people stop listening. One columnist nailed it. Feminism isn't a get-out-of-jail-free card for bad content. Boom. And The Simpsons? They didn't just reflect that truth, they blasted it in 4K. Meghan once called herself a disruptor, a truth-teller, a voice for the voiceless. But at some point, the narrative changed. Every single project began to orbit around one star. Meghan. The pain. The perfection. The branding. Over and over. It stopped feeling fresh and started to feel scripted. Hollywood sees it. Streaming execs who once rolled out the red carpet, now they're ghosting her. One Netflix insider didn't hold back. She's uncoachable. It's her way or no way, and when it fails, she blames everyone else. That sentiment, spreading fast, even her most loyal fans, tired. The boldness they once admired now feels hollow. Every show, every podcast, every initiative feels like another branding pitch wrapped in hashtags. There's no growth, no change, just more of the same, polished to death and stripped of all emotion. Then there's the Marmalux launch. That luxury jelly infused with ancestral pain and organic pectin? When Marge Simpson asks if it has real fruit, Meghan's cartoon screams, "Fruit is a construct!" And the crowd erupts with laughter. It's not just funny, it's accurate. Even Grandpa Simpson gets sued for calling her jam Queen's bathwater. Comic book guy cashes in by selling bootleg labels reading, "As ever so sticky, savage." And if you thought they'd stop there, think again. The darkest gag? A hologram of Princess Diana sobbing into a wine glass during a PR event. Cartoon Meghan shrieks, "It's a tribute!" And the audience gasps. It's audacious, controversial, and totally unforgettable. Bart Simpson even jumps in with a chalkboard gag that reads, "I will not trademark trauma." That one went viral instantly. And Harry? Oh, Harry didn't escape either. They painted him as a lost prince, stumbling around barefoot, clutching memoir scraps and muttering about sparking change while getting tangled in podcast cords and drowning in rosé. The caption said it all. Even Springfield thinks he's lost the plot. Meghan's parody was surgical. Harry's? A full-blown collapse. And here's the coldest part. Meghan thought she could fight this with a legal letter, but all she did was prove The Simpsons right. She's not empowering anymore. She's exhausting. And behind the gates of Monteceto, her team is scrambling. Rumors are swirling. A pivot's coming, maybe telling other people's stories, maybe even acting again, but here's the problem. Will anyone even care? Because once trust is gone in Hollywood, it's nearly impossible to rebuild. And Meghan didn't just crack trust, she smashed it. Her Netflix series, beautiful but cold. Critics called it a $100 million mood board. Her Spotify deal, a $20 million failure. Executives said she was difficult, disconnected, not a storyteller, a self-promoter. And now, she's surrounded by peers who are getting it right. Serena Williams has become a business mogul. Michelle Obama's podcasts feel real, warm, relatable. Even Harry, in his rare solo appearances, comes across more vulnerable than Meghan ever has, because that's the difference. Authenticity without filters. For Meghan to make a comeback, she needs to do something she's never done. Get real. Not polished, not branded, just raw and human. But can she? Her own staff doesn't think so. One insider said it flat out. Disagreement equals disrespect in her world. That's the edge she's standing on now. Not fame, not scandal, reinvention. Can she evolve into someone people believe in again? Or is this the end of the road? Because here's the final gut punch. The Simpsons didn't pick Meghan because she's irrelevant. They picked her because she's famous enough to matter, but flawed enough to mock. And they didn't just mock her, they defined her. When a cartoon version of you feels more real than the one you're trying to sell, that's not satire anymore. That's your legacy. And the worst part? It wasn't rage, it wasn't hate, it was indifference. And that is the loudest silence of all. Loudest silence of all. Loud.